welcome to the Paper Snob. This is Tara. Today I am working on 30 Days of Sketches with Christy's Beautiful Life, Series 13. Today is day 21 and our designer is Dana Terry. This is a simple but very fun sketch. I am going to create a 2-page layout with this sketch. So I'm just going to kind of spread it across a 2-page layout. I have my photos of my husband opening his Christmas presents in 2015. And I pulled out some stash from Vicki Boutin. So when I was scrapbooking the 2014 pictures a year ago, I did not allow myself to buy any new product to dig into until I finished that year's photos, simply because I have so much Christmas stuff. After I was finished, I bought a little bit of Warm Wishes and Evergreen and Holly. I have both of those here. I didn't even realize they were two different collections when I pulled them out last night, but they are. And so here we are going to try to use these up, or at least this little bit up. Like I said, I'm going to be doing a 2-page layout, so I pulled out quite a bit of stuff to play with. And you see this big old tub of stars. I adore these stars. I have bought every pack that I could get my hands on, including some for like $3.99 at Tuesday Morning before they went out of business. Love these stars. And I've used them on more than just Christmas layouts. Some of the red ones and the green ones, and even the pink and red ones I have put on other projects. And I just kind of leave them in these tubs so that I can dig through them. And of course there are hearts in here too, but I don't think there is as many hearts as there are stars. Anyway, so I'm going to go ahead and get started by cutting down this paper and getting some of this stuff placed. I know what I'm doing, kind of, but I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll be right back. So the first thing I did was I taped those two pieces of pattern paper together in the middle with a grid meeting. That meant one of the pattern papers is upside down, and that is going to be perfectly fine because I will be using the elements on the lower left and the upper right to kind of surround my embellishment clusters, and the one on the upper right corner will be a little bit covered up, and again, that's okay. So first things first, I'm matting these 3 photos. Now in the sketch, she has the 3 photos. They're off-centered, but they don't go all the way to the edge of the layout. Well, because I'm making this a 2-page layout, I am going to be putting those photos all the way to the edge. But first, I must fix this middle photo and the second photo and get them on here evenly. I cut a second mat for the other 3 photos, and they are evenly spaced as far as my eyeballs can tell, because I'm not going to measure them, on that plaid paper. And I'm going to do the same thing with the other 3, and I'm going to butt the first photo on page 2 up against the edge, and those photos are going to meet in the middle. And that is why I taped my background papers together, was so that I could make sure that I got them even on the page. I am notorious for not doing that, and then they're not even, and it annoys the crud out of me. So I've taken to just taping them down with washi tape. Now again, if you're going to tape with washi tape, you do need to probably put it on your clothes first, because sometimes washi tape isn't removable, and I had a little bit of trouble removing it without tearing my background paper a little bit. So just a warning, if you're going to do this, make sure that you put it on your clothes first to take some of that extra sticky off, because you're just wanting to tack it down. So now I've got my photos on there, and I have fussy cut out 3 ornaments. One of them is just a partial ornament because it's going to be tucked up underneath the banners that are going to go in that upper right hand corner. And those ornaments are replacing the circle elements on the sketch. I have also cut apart the tag sheet, and now I'm going to kind of decide which ones I want to use. I do choose 3 of these tags here. I'm starting with this green on green striped one, and then the one with the poinsettias on it as well. I am setting the others aside to be used later. They'll go back in my Christmas drawer, and I'll dig them out some other time. I'm looking for my third one at this point. And yes, I know I've laid the tags on top of my photo. That's actually not going to be a problem at all. And aside from that, I'm just going to use those two tags for now. And it's at this point that I realize I forgot to mat my photos a second time, and I had planned on using this beautiful star vellum sheet that I got with the kit. And actually, I have two of them, and I don't usually buy two of them. Luckily for me, I'm able to just pull off the photos fairly easily and go ahead and get these on here. And I'm going to trim it down just a tad so that it looks more like the sketch matting. So I'm also only tacking the vellum on one side because I know that I am going to be tucking stuff underneath that vellum, and I want to be able to do that easily without ripping anything or messing up my background sheets at all. So I'm kind of trying to be careful about how I get them on there and making sure that I have room to play around with the embellishments, because of course I don't quite have everything out that I'm going to use just yet. So I'm just going to run a strip right across the top under of the where the photos are. That way you can't see it. And I realized right there that I probably didn't have that mat on there evenly, so I pulled the photos off. I'm going to lay that vellum mat down, and then I'm going to go ahead and re-adhere the photos because the adhesive behind the photos is still perfectly fine. Now I'm going to start playing around with my embellishments and my tags. I'm going to start by layering up the two tags at first. You're not going to be able to see any of the writing on the poinsettia tag, which is intentional. Normally, I would also punch out the hole in these tags, and I'm not going to do that because I'm going to put some twine on it, and it doesn't really matter that much. I took a piece of that plaid, and I cut it down to 1.5 inches and then 1 inch, and those are going to be my banner pieces for the top of the layout. So for now, I'm not really gluing anything down. I'm just going to lay these banner pieces up here, and they're just going to stick up out of the top there. I'm just kind of getting an idea of how things are going to end up working, and I want to make sure that I get all of the elements from the sketch onto the layout, or at least in the way that I have interpreted them. And I'm pretty happy with what I've got so far. I'm digging through embellishments again because I want, and you have to excuse my arm, I didn't even realize I was in the way here, yikes. So I decided to go ahead and adhere the two tags down so that I could really embellish this. I am adding that 25 up there on the banners, and then I tucked that ornament piece underneath there, and I like how that looks, so I add some wet glue, and I'm happy with that. I'm going to add some wet glue to the two tags that I've got down so far. So I am going to just kind of play around with where this ornament's going to end up, and I know that it's going to end up upside down because I don't want to cover up the little ornament topper, because I want you to know that those are ornaments on my layout, and I think it just looks really cute and whimsical that way. So I'm going to go ahead and get this larger ornament glued down, and then we're going to make some decisions about some other embellishments here. I know that I want to add some phrases to that what looks like washi on the pattern paper below the red ornament. And so while I'm thinking about what's going to go there, I'm going to go ahead and pull out my title pieces. This layout is going to end up being titled Warm Wishes, and then I'm going to come in later and I'm going to put a subtitle on it as well. But for now, I like that title, and I like how this layout is going together fairly well. So I'm going to add this December on here next to the 25 because I think that looks cute. And I'm going to pull out some of the puffy stickers from this phrase sheet as well because this layout has stars on it. The sketch had stars on it, and stars are one of my favorite elements to scrapbook with. I love to add stars to a layout, so this makes it very, very easy to follow the sketch since it's one of my favorite things. Now I'm going to open up these smaller phrases and icon puffy sticker sheets, and I'm going to dig out a phrase to put on that washi tape looking bit below my red ornament. I'm going to have to move one of the stars around just a little bit because I'm going to end up using 3 of the black words. The black words end up making the phrase cherish the moment, and I think that looks perfect right underneath that red ornament. I'm going to move those little star puffy stickers around just a tad to get everything on there where I want it to go. And so far, I'm happy with the direction this layout seems to be going. Now I'm going to go through this little ephemera pack because I know that there are 3 tags on that right hand side of that sketch, and I'm still wanting to kind of mimic that. And I find this little tiny one, and I'm going to stick it up under here just so that you can only see the green. You won't even know that there is a flower bit on it. And I'm going to move my star again. And I'm going to go ahead and take the little Chad piece out of that hole, and I'm going to glue it down so that it stays where I want it to stay. And now I think it's time to make some other decisions. So I took a break off camera and I decided on a subtitle for this layout, and I used some little red freckled fawn layouts that are left over from a kit that I've been trying to use up from this summer. I've got embellishments and just scraps of paper and a few of their pocket cards left. But the red in these letters matches the red in the Vicki Boutin paper well enough that I decided to go ahead and use them. So now my title says Warm Wishes and Presents Too. I also took the time to type out my journaling in Word and print it, and then I cut it apart and I put it on foam tape just to give it a pop. And that pretty much is going to complete this layout. I do need to go in and glue down my chipboard stars still. There's 3. I chose a red one, or rather a pink one with red outline, a light green one with a darker green outline, and then a cream colored one that has lines like notebook paper on it. And those are going to end up in each of the 3 of my embellishment clusters. I am really thrilled with how this layout turned out. I really struggle with scrapbooking Christmas, not because I'm a Grinch and hate Christmas. I absolutely love Christmas. And I take so many stinking photos that it just becomes overwhelming for me to scrapbook all of it. And I've already mentioned a couple of times this month that I am trying to do better about not printing all of the photos. And I did really well with printing photos of my husband. I think I only set aside 2 from the stack that I pulled out of the album where this layout will go ahead and end up. So just a side note, there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tie the twine. This is a cream colored with a gold thread twine running through. It's perfect for Christmas. I am struggling a little bit with these bows. They've kind of got a mind of their own, and one side seems to be twisting every time, and I will tell you how I fix that at the end of the video. I'm going to put a bow on each of the ornament toppers, and then I'm going to put a bow on 2 of the 3 tags on the lower right hand side. But in the meantime, I'm going to sit here and fight with this twine a little bit. I decided not to make you watch all of that, and just as I finish the last one, we'll go into the finished layout. All right, I got this layout completely finished. I don't know about you ladies, but Vicki Boutin's product sure makes creating so easy. I really love how this layout turned out. I'm tickled that I was able to make it easily into a 2-page layout. I have mentioned that I do need to create a whole bunch of 2-page layouts. And so this made that very, very easy to do. Things that I did off camera. When I was tying my bows, I was having a little bit of trouble with them twisting, and so off camera I stuck another glue dot underneath the twisted bit to hold it down, and that was here, here, and here. That's where I had to do that. I also, as you saw, glued down 3 of the chipboard stars. I know that I have a ton of those stars. I will use them. I've been using them like crazy. And it's fun to actually use them with the collection that they belong to. I have plenty of other stars on here that are from the puffy stickers. I did add a subtitle down here at the bottom and hand typed my journaling and then cut it out into strips and placed it on foam adhesive as well. I want to thank you so much for coming to my channel today. If you liked this video and you are not a subscriber, please subscribe. It will always be free to subscribe to my channel. And just click that button down below. And if you want to be notified, click the bell too. Then YouTube will tell you when I put out new content. My goal is 2 to 4 videos per week, every week. And that gives you plenty of content to look at. Also, for the month of October, as you know, I am working on 30 days of sketches. So there is daily content in October. And sometimes there's more than 1 video per day because I have other hops that I have agreed to participate in, and I can't mix them with sketches such as Scrap Lift Crafternoon, and there's been a couple of others that I couldn't really mix well with a sketch. So that's just to give you a heads up that there will be sometimes more than 1 video per day. I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye.